What's going on, guys? Welcome on to another video. I'm Matt and Zoe, and today I'm out on this, the Honda CL500. No messing about, let's get straight into it. The engine in this is 471cc, producing 43 newton meters of torque and 46 brake horsepower. Now for around town, those sound like pretty good numbers to me. So I'll have a little bit of a town play and then get it out into the back roads a little, and we'll see how she fares. The engine is actually quite peppy, quite lively. Like with most small bikes, you do need to kind of use the rev range a little bit more, but yeah, definitely around kind of town, these 20-30 miles an hour is speed limit. The engine does feel nice and peppy. Throttle response, I'm going 30 miles an hour in third gear, and then on off that initial 5-10% pickup, there is a little bit of body movement, a bit of jerky. Beat some of the traffic. Oh, beat all the traffic, yes please. Perks of a small little bike, nice and light and nimble. I'll whack it in and out of traffic. The clutch pull on this is really nice and light, so it makes gear changes super easy. Once you're past that initial pickup though, the fueling is very nice and the throttle is nice and smooth. Yay, horn and D again. Arriba! Yeah, city riding, town riding, super easy. Some back roads. Obviously with an engine of this size it is A2 compliant. Get over your side of the road, thank you very much. Looking at the electronics on this bike, there is very little. We've got LEDs all round, we've got a nice retro style headlight at the front, and this small little round LCD screen at the front, and that's it for electronics. I can see just in the shadows there that the indicator lights stay on, but in like a dimmed percentage, so I say about 20% brightness, just to give it an extra bit of light frontage on the bike. Wind protection, this little thing at the front is more for styling than for actual wind protection. So we've got clean air, as in it's hitting us across the chest and the helmet, so I've got no strange buffeting, but it does feel a little bit noisy. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a windy day. This bike is going to set you back just shy of £6,000. This could be a perfect Sunday kind of casual run around bike, or it could be your first time. You don't always have to get the smaller 300cc bikes. You can jump on something to this 500cc's, but it's still more than manageable for new riders. Ergonomics then, I'm 6'1", 115 kilos. The seat does feel a little bit hard. It has got that kind of cafe racer style flat structure. Is that the right word? Flat profile, there we go. I'll find the right word, don't you worry. The pegs are situated in a nice position, so that means my legs have got quite a nice comfortable bend to them, nothing too much. Handlebars they're kind of at the limit of a nice reach, so I'm not reaching for them. They're not too close, but they are at the limit of that point of any more and I would feel like I'm reaching for them. But I personally do like nice wider handlebars, and these are at a nice distance, kind of left to right. Some of the smaller bikes I have been testing lately seem to have one's a little bit closer. The Honda Hornet and the Yamaha MT-03. For me, the handlebars are just a little bit too close, not that wide, whereas I like this. I like a wider handlebar coming through. If you want to give it some beans, you can do. Easily do motorway speed on this bike, no questions. The good thing with this bike is you've got that kind of old school classic retro styling to it, but new age reliability coming from Honda. That's where I think some of these bikes really sit nicely in the market. The XSR 700, the 900, the Kawasaki Z650 and the Z900. That to me, that kind of bracket of like quite retro looking but comfortable with modern accessories and reliability, you can't complain. Enables the older generation to have a new bike whilst feeling like they've kept some heritage going. It's really nice and light, and it's easy to move as well. Handling, it does flick really nicely. We've managed to pull over somewhere a little bit cooler and a little bit quieter, except the ducks over there giving it some beans. This is what I mean by the retro round styling to this bike. I think just all around there's retro je ne sais quoi coming through. From the round headlight, I believe this exact demo may have the styling pack on, and I say that because I think this is an extra, and a couple of other bits on the side of the bike which I'll show you when we get round there. Said about the styling pack, I believe this is the taller seat, and then on the left hand side we do have this number board as well, which obviously yours wouldn't have Branson's demo on. Let me know what you think of the styling of this bike. Is it in keeping with the retro bikes? We do have 41mm telescopic forks, and it's got these old school coverings on. With my weight on this cheaper bike, I'm having no issues on these back areas, so it's doing a good job. On the right hand side you've got the steering lock there, and then on the left hand side of the bike that is the ignition barrel. Leaves quite a nice clean look up the front, just with that small LCD screen, kind of nothing else. We've got a 310mm single at the front and then a 240 single at the rear. No issues with the brakes for me on this bike. So the CL500 in the standard trim has a seat height of 790mm. Now if this is the raised seat, the taller seat, not quite sure what this bumps it up to, but I will try and find out. I'll put it on the screen now. Remember, I'm 6'1", and on this current seat, both feet flat on the floor, easily controlled, and the bike feels nice and light between your legs as well. This thing comes in at only 191 kilos, and that is pretty light for bikes nowadays, and you can feel it whilst you're on the road as well. That is helped out by a small tank of only 12 litres. As you can tell, it is pretty small, it's skinny, it's not the biggest, but I've no doubt that the fuel range on this will be more than acceptable. I'll also put it on the screen so you know what the fuel consumption is, or how many miles per tank. So for the £6,000 you got 3 different colour options to choose from, and that is going to be blue, green or orange. I think this bike looks really nice in the blue with the brown seat. There are a couple of different packs, like I mentioned at the start. I think this has got the styling pack on it. I think the other 2 packs are the adventure pack, and that's going to give you some knuckle guards and some other things. I'll put a list of what is included in that. And then the next one, I believe, or the last one, I believe, is going to be the touring pack, and that's going to give you a saddlebag. I assume saddlebag only on the left, because on the right hand side we actually do have the side mounting exhaust. It looks good, doesn't really sound anything. Nothing to shout home about. What I have noticed on this bike, when you are in the lower gear having a spirited ride, there is some vibrations that come through the seat and the handlebar. Your 2 options are, don't ride spirited and you won't feel them, or ride spirited and just accept them. So brakes are nice and sharp on this. Obviously that's going to be helped out with that low weight. Going to the right, turn left, I like it. Yeah, it's easy to handle, it's nice and low, but it's a comfortable position as well. I don't feel too big on it. It's not a slow bike if you don't want it to be. It's fast within the speed limits. So, I mean, you can have some fun on this bike. You don't need to spend 28 grand to have fun on a bike. Yeah, and you can just poodle along if you want. Nice Sunday ride, just taking it easy, just chilling out. go to the pub, obviously have a Coke, get yourself Sunday lunch. Oh yeah, sometimes I think in the biking world we get too carried away with stats, figures, brake horsepower, torque, electronic gizmos. Don't get me wrong, I'm bad for it, I like all that stuff, but sometimes it is nice to kind of get on a bike that's got nothing and it's just kind of back to basics and just enjoy the bike and what the bike's got to offer you, rather than what electronics the bikes have got. The bikesies. Like I said at the start of the video, it's just that initial pickup that is a little bit jerky for me. So it does mean kind of around the town, if you are on off the throttle, it can get a little bit tedious. But if you're in a 20 or a 30 and you're unsteady on the throttle, then we're okay. Well guys, we have covered everything off on this bike. It's a good price. I think it's a nice Sunday ride. So if you are interested, go and check it out, get yourself on one and test it. If you found this video useful or you've liked it, give us a thumbs up, like this video, more importantly subscribe to the channel. Every single sub helps us grow the channel more and more, so nothing else to say, but until the next one, ride safe.